I whispered it after the Liverpool game. I said it quietly after the Partizan game. I mentioned it after the Norwich game, but now I'm saying it loudly after that win against Chelsea. Solskjaer'S Man United have turned a corner in the last few games. We've got the wind in our sails, and United are now on the up. Whereas only a few weeks ago, everything was doom and gloom around the club. But what has changed? What has Solskjaer and United changed to cause this upturn in form? What I'm going to do in this video is run through everything that I've seen that's different, that's helping United find this resurging form, that's helping change the course of our season, certainly from where it was a few weeks ago. Now, before I start, if you are new to United People's TV, make sure you subscribe down below. But let's talk about this one. And there really is, for me, only one place we can start here. What a player Scott McTominay is becoming. In every single situation of pressure that he's been put under, he's excelling, he's improving in situations I didn't think he would. Every time he plays, he gets better. A new situation develops and he just shows how much of a gem he is. I want to apologise to Jose Mourinho for ever laughing at him for pointing out Scott McTominay, but he saw something there before anybody else did. But we're seeing it now. And McTominay, at a time when Solskjaer needed players to step up, he's been effectively the captain on the pitch. McTominay was indomitable against Chelsea. Got a yellow card early on as well, but it didn't stop him for the full 90 minutes. And it's not as if this is the first game that McTominay's been doing it. He's arguably United's player of the season. He's been absolutely nothing short of magnificent. And McTominay has made such a difference in a midfield which lacks quality. And only a couple of days ago, Laurie Whitwell over on The Athletic wrote an article on Pogba and asked whether United are moving on from him in his absence. And in that article, he points out McTominay's growth, mentions the breakthrough of James Garner, and asks whether Pogba is going to be at United for the long term. Now, I personally don't think that Pogba will be here next year. I think this is a long goodbye from Pogba, but McTominay will be here for a long time. He's been an absolute general in midfield, and I would probably say he's been Man United's player of the season, as good as Dan James's breakthrough has been. For McTominay to do what he's doing in midfield, a position which has been United's bane for years, ever since Scholes and Carrick left, United have never properly had a midfield general that you can just have belief in, to do it every game, and McTominay is doing that and some. He's been absolutely sensational and a massive reason that United have been able to have the grip of the games in these last 4 fixtures that have caused this upturn. McTominay has been literally a central figure for that. And I think it's fair from Laurie Whitwell to ask whether United are actually moving on in his absence. Now, if you want to read that full article, there is a link in the description on The Athletic. You know by now you can get 50% off an annual subscription, an ad-free platform, top-class content like this from Laurie, Andy Mitten, who we've obviously interviewed, and lots more. So follow the link in the description. But of course, it's not just McTominay who has seen an upturn in form. Marcus Rashford has been fantastic in these last 4 games. A player who I think unfairly has been targeted by a lot of United fans for underperforming in the last 8 weeks, because he has. But Rashford should never be leading our line on his own with Martial out injured. He's been struggling. But in the last 4 games, he scored against Liverpool. He scored against Norwich. He got 2 against Chelsea. And he missed a penalty against Norwich as well. It could be 5 in his last 4 games. And at a time where Solskjaer needed his players to step up, Rashford has delivered the goals. And Rashford deserves huge credit for that. Sorry, in the last video, match reaction to the Chelsea game, I got his age wrong. He's only just turned 22. But still, to have scored 50 goals for United by the age of 22 is phenomenal. That free kick against Chelsea was one of the single best free kicks I've ever seen from a United player, ever. And he did that under immense pressure. After spooning his last 10-15, that one it'll be talked about for years and years and years. And he scored the penalty as well under immense pressure. Rashford has taken it upon himself in this moment of need for Solskjaer, for his strikers to start scoring goals again. He has delivered. And I think a lot of United fans owe Rashford an apology, because I think he's been unfairly targeted and mistreated by United fans. Because, as we all know, when things aren't going well, there are scapegoats. Rashford has been a massive scapegoat. But if you're going to criticise him when he's getting it wrong, praise him for when he's getting it right. And in the last 4 games, he's scored 4 goals and been crucial to this upturn in form from United. And the brilliant thing about this resurgent-looking United is it's not just about McTominay. It's not just about Rashford. Andreas Pereira looks like he's finding his feet in the number 10 position. Brandon Williams has broken through and looks like the club's best left-back now. Fred finally is delivering in central midfield with some good, better, improved performances. Hell, even Marcus Rojo deserves credit. This whole resurgent-looking United is not just about an individual giving us an escape from a bad performance, aside from the Partizan game with Martial penalty. It's an overall collective, improved-looking United from front to back. And had we played Chelsea a few weeks ago and it had been 1-1, I think we would have crumbled. I don't think we would have got the second goal. I don't think we would have held on to it. I don't think we would have got through to the quarter-final of the League Cup. But this United did. We battled. Everybody battled. When players made mistakes, they had a teammate there to cover them. United have looked more like a team in the last 4 games than we have since the first 3 months of Solskjaer being in charge. And that has to be down to Solskjaer and his coaching and the players responding to it and wanting to respond to it, because that's a massive aspect as well. If the players didn't really trust Solskjaer and believe in him as a manager, we wouldn't have seen these performances. So overall, as a whole team, we've improved substantially, and it's not just about the individuals. And that's a major shift for United. Now, this next point is an absolutely crucial one for me, but Solskjaer has shown his ability to switch things up tactically. Going into that Liverpool game, I did not want to see United line up in a 4-2-3-1, which has been horrendous for United this season. And we didn't. We switched to 3 at the back against Liverpool, who won 17 consecutive Premier League games. And we played a risky, aggressive formation that worked. And aside from a defensive lapse, which we're still massively capable of, we would have won that game. And then we used the same formation against Partizan. Performance wasn't there, but we still won. We switched back to the 4-2-3-1 against Norwich when Martial was back fit, and it worked perfectly. And then we switched again to 3 at the back against Chelsea, and it worked perfectly. Solskjaer has shown that he's able to coach different styles and systems into his players, and that the players actually respond. And it's been a major criticism of Solskjaer that he's tactically inept, that he's not able to coach something into the team in the training ground and reflect it on the pitch. But we've seen, again, in these last 4 games that that's just not true. He can. Whether he can do it against teams that sit in the low block, that has been United's undoing, that's going to be another challenge and test for him. But Liverpool, massive test. Chelsea, massive test. Norwich away, they beat City there. Might have lost 5-1 to Villa, but hard. And so was Belgrade. And we've got a draw and 3 wins. And the ability to have different shapes and systems is going to be crucial for United this season for it to be a success. And we've seen that in these last 4 games, massively. And it's not just about the different systems going into games. Because against Chelsea, after 60 minutes, after Chelsea's equaliser, Solskjaer switched it completely. Pereira came on, Martial came on, Lindelof went off, and so did Lingard. And we switched from a 3 at the back to a 4-2-3-1. And immediately, United got a grip of the game, and Frank Lampard did not respond. United were then in control of the game. We got the second goal, and we sat back in our shape, and we hit on the counter when we wanted to. That tactical switch mid-game changed the course of the game. Solskjaer saw the opportunity, saw the problems that United had, switched it, and the players executed it. And again, that's down to the management, the coaching, and the training, and it all coming together. And Solskjaer has been criticised massively for that as well. But again, evidence against a top team, a massively informed team. And we've done it against Liverpool, who won 17 in a row in the Premier League. And then Chelsea, who have won 7 in a row in all competitions. And we've done it against both of those. We can do it against the top teams. Solskjaer has got the tactical knowledge. We need to see it on a larger, wider scale with more in-game decisions. But to call him inept is just a lie. Now, of course, we've had our luck along the way. Maybe Scott McTominay could have been sent off against Chelsea. VAR has come to our aid on a few occasions. But when you're winning football matches and you're playing well, luck is on your side. And United are making their own luck at the moment. But we've gone from a team that didn't win an away game for over 200 days to a team that has just won 3 consecutive away games, including Stamford Bridge, where Solskjaer has won twice in 8 months, whereas previously we only had 1 win there since 2012. The upturn has been significant. And I thought it started against Liverpool because of the performance. But you didn't really say much because it's 1 game. Partizan, we may have won there. The performance was poor, and it's only Partizan. Norwich, we scored 3 in a game. But Norwich have been beaten 5-1 at home by Villa. Let's not get too excited. Chelsea away. 2-1 winners. 3 away wins in a row. The second consecutive game we've scored more than 2 goals, or 2 or more goals, sorry. The positives are everywhere to be seen, from Scott McTominay leading the midfield, to Marcus Rashford delivering under immense pressure up front, to Solskjaer showing he's got the tactical knowledge to switch systems before games and mid-game, and the players and the team responding. There's been so much negativity about United this year. You know I've tried to stay positive, and I always will do, because I believe and trust in the process that's happening. United are a shit football team in comparison to where we want to be, and we're a long way off that still. But at a time going into that Liverpool game, you wondered whether United were able to turn it around, whether this was the beginning of the end for Solskjaer, that it was just going to be a downward slope. And at that point, under Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, it was just a downward slope. There was no resurgence. But immediately, United have had a resurgence under Solskjaer. And we now head into the Bournemouth game in real form. Bournemouth will be tough. Maybe they'll sit in the low block and they'll try to expose United's weaknesses. But you can't just ignore the momentum that's building at United right now. We've got Bournemouth coming up, Brighton, Sheffield United, Partizan and Astana. Going into December, we've got 5 or 6 games that on paper we can win. And if we continue this momentum and this surge in form, we will win. And let me know what you think about this upturn from United. Is it just a flash in the pan at the moment? Is it all going to go wrong? I don't think it is. And we've done it all without Paul Pogba. And I didn't really think that was possible. But everybody as a team is performing. Solskjaer is performing as a manager, and it's all coming together for the best run of form that we've had in months. And my, did Solskjaer need it. Let me know what you think about this resurgent looking United in the comments below. Are there any other points or players that you want me to talk about or that I haven't mentioned? Let me know in the comments as well. And if you are new to United People's TV, make sure you subscribe. But let's hope this form continues, eh?